Through faith, young initiate, all magics are possible. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den, with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, and we are continuing on with yet another episode of the Pathfinder Warpriest build guide, today taking a look at their spells. Now, we are going to be skipping over the 0 level spells. You get access to all of those and can swap them out pretty readily. The ones that are going to be most consistently useful are things like read magic, detect magic, but it should be fairly obvious how useful those are. So we are going to focus on first level spells and work our way onwards from there. But before we get into that, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there and hit the subscribe button and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Join that historic and storied alumni. Or, if you're already a member, go on down there, hit the like button, and share the video far and wide. Help the channel to grow ever further onwards and forwards. And now, with all of that out of the way, we'll get into the heart of the issue today. So, to begin with, for your first level spells, the most important spell for you to pick up. I've looked over a couple of different guides, I've read through the first level spell list probably 2 or 3 times over by now, and yeah, Divine Favor is going to be your most important spell. It's a standard action for its casting time. You target only yourself and it lasts for 1 minute, long enough for any combat encounter that you might be going into. And you will gain a +1 luck bonus on attack and damage rolls, and this increases by 1 for every 3 caster levels you have. This spell will do so much for you for several levels until you get to the point that you get to other buffing spells that will do similar or better things for you. But especially for your first 9 or so levels, this will be a solid standby for you. This will be pretty hard to beat, and you can see why. This will help to overcome the shortcomings in your attack bonus, especially if you're using something like power attack. This will help to also boost your damage output, and because it's a luck bonus, this is going to be able to stack with a lot of other sources and just add on that much more to your capabilities. And then the next spell on our list is Protection from Alignment. So this could be protection from good, law, chaos, neutrality, evil, any number of different things, depending on what exactly your alignment is. It's a standard action to cast it, it's a touch range, and it lasts 1 minute per level, and a creature you touch gains a +2 deflection bonus to AC, or a +2 resistance bonus to all of their saves. You also get bonuses to counteract mind control effects, and immediately get to re-roll it if you throw this down after the target suffers the effect. This also gives protection from the natural attacks of the creatures of the specified alignment. So if you go with protection from evil, evil creatures attempting to claw you, beat you with their wings, tails, bite you, and gnash you with their great pointy teeth, well, they will be warded off, and you'll be warded against possession attempts as well. This is an incredibly handy spell to have, especially for those early levels, and it still maintains its usefulness later on, helping to ward away those kinds of natural attacks. And at higher levels, the creatures hitting you with their natural attacks are going to be able to dish out some serious damage. And then, moving on from there, the next spell you'll definitely want to consider having in your spell list, or at least the option to switching to at some point, is Obscuring Mist. It's a standard action to cast, it has a range of 20 feet, lasts 1 minute per level. A thick mist will move and emanate from you 20 feet high in a 20-foot radius around you. This obscures sight, including things like dark vision. Creatures 5 feet away will gain a concealment bonus, which is a 20% miss chance. Creatures further away are treated as if they have concealment, with a 50% miss chance, and you can't use visual means of locating where the target is. So this is a pretty handy spell. The only real downside to it is if somebody's able to generate wind in some fashion, like a dragon beating its wings, or somebody actually using magic to create wind, They can eventually blow the mist away, or fairly quickly depending on how strong the winds are, but especially early on, this is still pretty damn useful. Even at mid-levels, this can be very, very handy for you. A mischance is just... it's just that, it's a mischance. It's an opportunity for attacks to miss you, even if they would normally hit your armor class. But then the next spell is an absolute must-have. It's Forbid Action. It's a standard action to cast. It's a close range spell, 25 feet plus 5 feet for every 2 caster levels, and you target one creature and it lasts for 1 round. Now, the fact that it only lasts for 1 round might seem like a detriment, but this is still a great thing to have. Will saves will negate it, and you can forbid a creature from an action that you specify. This includes attacking, moving, casting spells, drawing a weapon, etc. There may be some things that the DM might decide maybe not, but you work with them and they may give you a little bit more of a range. Although, how much more of a range you really need out of this, it's hard to say, but whatever circumstances may come up, most DMs will probably be flexible enough given that this spell is specifically designed for forbidding a specific action. Definitely really handy to have. It's great to be able to get a creature to stop using its breath weapon effect, or get the beholder to not use its disintegrate ray on whoever they just turned into a statue. And then finally, last on our list, is actually a spell you want to avoid having active in your spell list, especially if you're any kind of a good aligned spellcaster, or if you're a neutral caster that chose to channel good energies, healing energies. And that's Cure Light Wounds. The reason for this is that you can swap and substitute out any of your spells in your list for a Cure Light Wounds spell. That, and I've discussed this in other videos before, but again, if you're new here to the channel, the cure spells are not effective mechanically to use during or in the midst of combat more often than not. Probably 98% of the time you're gonna want to wait till after combat has concluded. And even then, you're better off using this as a wand, getting a wand in order to cast the spell, rather than burning up your spell slots. But the fact that you can change any of your prepared spell slots over to Cure Light Wounds means you don't really need to have this prepared at any given day. What this will do for you is a standard action to cast. It's a touch range, and the target is of course the creature touched, and there is an option for a will save for half damage. You touch a creature and heal for 1d8 plus 1 per caster level, with a max of a plus 5 there. So 1d8 plus 5 is the top that you can get out of this. And you do this by channeling positive energy. This will harm undead, hence the will save for half damage. So, again, mechanically, healing in the middle of a fight is usually not the best option, given the fact that whether you're at 100 hit points, 50, or 5, you are still going to be operating at your maximum capacity. The only exception to this is if the DM has homebrewed or house ruled something where you are taking penalties for dropping lower and lower in your hit point totals. But, you know, that doesn't really come up a whole lot, and again, mechanically, it just makes sense to heal after a fight, especially if you're not having to worry about any other penalties. But given that we are building this character to be this supreme tanky character, if you are dropping down, say, into negative hit points and you're still barely functioning, maybe doing a Cure Light Wounds just to get yourself back up into the positive might not be a bad plan. But even then, you may have some better options for that down the line. And again, this works better as a wand. But what do you think? Go on down there in the comments below and let me know what spells you think fit really well for this Warpriest build, or any other Warpriest build that you might have in mind. Is there something I missed? Something you think that might work better? Do you think Cure Light Wounds is better rated than what I'm giving it credit for? Let me know your thoughts down below. And also, if you're so inclined, go on down there, hit the like or dislike button, and once again, if you're new here, go on down there and hit the subscribe button and become a regular member here at the Gamers Den, and be notified the next time we upload more great content here to the channel. But, with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.